a YouTube studio at this week's Director.
Okay, there are literally thousands of us that are out there, YouTube content creators that are working in really, really tight space. You're working in a garage, maybe an extra bedroom, even the corner of your kitchen. It's always a tight space where you're working. And one thing that if we are making content, we're always trying to find a way to make our space a little more decluttered, a little more efficient to work in. And I found something that I think every YouTube studio content creator should probably be aware of, and that is the Varipole. Now, the Varipole is made by Impact. They're a fantastic company that makes really, really high quality, affordable film equipment. I have a lot of different Impact gear. I'll be honest, I think it goes toe to toe with the best brands in the world. Really, really sturdy, really, really affordable, great for the indie filmmaker. Now, the Varipole is essentially, it's just a big pole. There's not much to it. The good news is that it's designed for flexibility. So, in the middle of the pole, you'll kind of see here, it's got this locking mechanism. So if I pop it open, I got this handle, and then when I get it, I can take it and extend it up to 12 feet. Now I'm in a garage. I happen to have 10 feet ceilings. If you look, it reaches no problem. And look, when I'm there, I can lock it down. And when I lock it, it has a little bit of pressure, and then it really, really gets it well in there. Now, as you can see, this is on there good. It's sturdy. I can hang stuff on there. So, what I really liked about it is just how efficient this was. I can literally take this and replace a light stand. If you can see, I kind of have a wide angle running over there. But as you can see, there's no big base around this with legs. It's just a pole. It's very, very sturdy. It's very, very simple. And it's great if you have a small studio space. Now, my studio, I had a C-stand for my light stand, for my key light, for my boom mics, for my background lights, for my kickers. So my studio was so crowded, and I was looking for something that would really help open it up. And I decided to get these. Now, the great thing about these, if you are thinking of getting one, is, first of all, the cost. They're very affordable. You actually get these as a pair. You get two of them for $169. So they're very, very affordable, very, very cheap to get. They've been traditionally used by most people as sort of a backdrop stand support. So people will get two of these, they'll get an attachment, put a crossbar, and then they can hang fabrics on them. But I found you can actually use them as well if you're creative with some YouTube studio uses. I don't know if these are recommended, but this is what they did. So what I'm going to do is, in the first one, you can kind of look over here on my wider angle, and I have in my garage, I have a small section. I have a center beam in my garage. It's about 10 feet away from the wall. And I wanted a way that I could get rid of the C-stands and make a crossbar. And the Varipole worked very great. And I'll kind of show you in the wide stand. I mean, you can see there that that's pretty sturdy. Now, I can't do a pull-up on it. And, you know, I would definitely recommend doing this in a closed set where you have control. But for me, it completely opened up all of my space here, which was really, really helpful for me in opening my studio. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you a time-lapse video of me kind of setting up the studio. You can see how fast it is to get set up and kind of how an idea you could take it and set it up. Okay, so there you go. You can kind of see some of the ways you can do that, and I'm sure I'll tweak it and do that. So, a couple of notes about it. There are a few negatives to it that I would say. If you are an indie filmmaker, the first one is just, this thing is big, okay? The smallest size is 6 feet. Now I'm a pretty short guy, but this thing towers me. You know, I'm 5'8", and that thing takes up almost my entire stand. And this is broken down. So if you have a small car and are transporting around, this is not something you're going to be able to get into a Honda or a Toyota. You're going to need a van or an SUV to be able to get that around. The other thing is that this is great if you're in a fixed studio. Indie filmmakers out there, this thing is just not as flexible as the C-stand. I think if you're on a set and you got to have that ultimate flexibility and that ultimate control, a C-stand is still going to be the way to go. So there's that component of it. It is nice you can kind of slam this in a corner, but you don't have that flexibility of a C-stand. The other thing is that because this does work on pressure, you could damage drywall, so you want to be careful. I've actually taken a board, covered it in Cedivatine, and then did that to protect my drywalls and my ceiling. And the other thing is that this is a pole. You're going to need peripherals to unlock what it can. There's nothing that has it. Now, I would recommend getting, and I think it's just 100% necessary, get yourself some super clamps. Let's be honest. Every filmmaker should have a couple of these in the thing. The great thing is you can take it, you can then hook these things up, lock them on, and you're locked in and good to go. There's some great brands. Impact actually makes some great super clamps. So does Manfrotto. So does Matthews. So many to go from. And the great thing about super clamps is you can go in there and put any kind of attachments and stuff that you need. But when you are getting a Varipole, go ahead and factor in the cost of a couple of these. See, super clamps, they run in range from $39 to $69 to $59. It just depends. Just go and check it out because you will need them if you want to maximize and actually use this thing. So that's basically my final conclusion of the Varipole. I mean, it's simple, but it's one of those things that I think can really transform a studio for you. And if you can be in a situation where you can move quicker, be more efficient, and be safer in your set where you're not tripping over poles and stuff, I think it's really, really great deal. I think for $169, it's just one of those things that you should seriously consider going. I know it has certainly made my studio space a lot easier and a lot more malleable. Okay, guys, leave me any comments below if you want to cover anything else for a YouTube studio, and hope you have fun. Get out there and shoot, and I'll see you later.